to start off today with some blue and white. Actually, just a very simple blue sky. Won't add anything else to it, really. Just blue and white. And I've already got some clear gel and white just over the sky area. I kind of let it work down here because we're going to have some water, and my water's going to be fairly blurry today. But anyway, let's go ahead and get us our background. Now, of course, this is no surprise to you. You know, when I explain what's going on, I know it's no surprise. You've already seen the thumbnail. You know exactly what it looks like. But here's my thought. I want a blurry-ish kind of a background, you know, kind of blurry. We're doing a flowering tree. I don't want to have plenty of room for that. There we go. And one of the secrets to this, I believe, is going to be having that kind of blurriness so that we can focus in on, you know, the big main feature of the painting. So anyway, we'll work on this. As I do a little bit here in the sky, I'm going to also repeat it here in the water. Just do it at once, all at once. I'm just finishing up my basic sketch. And this is just my charcoal pencil today. This is just my charcoal pencil. I'm trying to figure out, where do I want my angles? Where do I want my mountain shapes? You know, what's going on in this landscape? And this helps you to kind of determine that. I started to fill that mountain in a little. But anyway, that looks good. There's a little lake, a path here. See the path? A tree. We're actually going to do a couple trees, paint tree. And then, of course, our big, I didn't actually indicate these yet, but our big leaves and flowers coming in on this side. That works, though. That works. Oh, also, we should look at the paintings that you guys did of the last one. You guys did a great job. It was really fun to see all of those paintings. And I know you guys enjoy, because I see them in the comments. I know you guys enjoy seeing your paintings there. So definitely share using the hashtag on the screen. I'll try to get it in my next video. Also, be sure that you are subscribed and you've clicked the bell icon to be notified for the next video, so you'll get in on it right as soon as it comes out. It'll be good. All right, now that this is basically established, we can start to kind of color it in. Coloring inside the lines. I got a little blue in there. That blue indicates a bit of distance. Blue and white is distant. It's distance in a color, blue and white. No matter what you put it on, it just seems to go far, far away when it's like that, when it's all that light blue and white. Yes, that looks good. Does not need to be in any way perfect, because we're going to mess it all up. We're going to mess it up so bad. That's great. Let's stop right there, you know? Actually, before we do, let's indicate real quick. Let's indicate this mountain. I'm so glad this is blurry, because I don't want to have to paint that mountain in perfectly. Too tedious. Well, I mean, I've done it before. I've definitely done it before. I think I've even taught it before. But it's tedious. So it's not what we're doing today. That looks good. Now, what we need to do is, you can either use a 1-inch brush, 2-inch brush, blender brush, it doesn't matter, but it needs to be clean and dry. Clean and dry. Actually, it might do well to get a paper towel in one hand and the brush in the other. We can just wipe the brush off. But I'm going to say right in here, we need to make this blurry. That's all there is to it. We need to make this blurry. If there's too much paint, see, all I see when I look at this canvas is I see weave of the canvas, the actual canvas texture. If you see brush strokes, like globbiness, texture, actual texture of oil paint, stop right there. Wipe it off with a shop towel. There's too much paint. But let me just blur this. If there's any spot you don't like, you're going to cover it with your cherry tree or your flowering tree anyway. Just flowering tree. Beautiful. Good enough. Perfect? Absolutely not. We're not looking for perfect. We're looking for blurry and out of focus today. Blurry and out of focus. Which that definitely is. We don't need much of anything here. We know this is good. This, everywhere where my hand is here, it's going to be something. A tree, you know, bushes, whatnot. It doesn't matter. So don't put any time in there, because it won't be seen. Put your time where it's going to be seen. That works. Smooth that out. Nice and smooth, nice and smooth, nice and smooth. We want the general colors to be in about the right spot. Other than general colors, we don't care. I just want a little taste of a highlight on here. I don't need a whole lot. Just a little. Blurry and out of focus, just like everything else. Blurry and out of focus is my 3/4 brush here. Oh, I like this 3/4 brush. If you don't have one, pick one up. Give it a try. It's a nice soft brush, comes to a beautiful chisel edge. And it works for stuff like this as well as just about anything. Seascapes, if you're into doing seascapes. Oh, good brush. Yeah, it's okay to get excited about your brush. There. Let's see, what do you think? Right here, maybe, I don't know, it doesn't need much. As I stand back, that's nice and blurry. That's about where I want it. It's about where I want it. There's my color, by the way. It's starting to become kind of a gray as that blue is mixing into it. Yellow ochre is what I used. I did not, just yellow ochre, what was that? Just a little yellow ochre, red, white, didn't really do too much. Didn't really need too much. Here's my mirror reflection. Again, ooh, all we're looking for is just somewhat close. I've got a slightly darker gray. Yeah, it's actually maybe a little darker than I am. It's kind of hard to decide. I guess it's okay. Is it darker than I want? I don't know. You got to make these choices when you paint. But here it is. A little umber. I've got some just a little red, umber, a little black, a little blue, and white. So basically all my dark colors, everything but green is in there. It makes for a decent gray. Makes for a very decent gray. Every time you mix it, it'll be just slightly different, you know? And that's part of the fun of it. You don't ever want your colors the same every time. But there you go. There's my first little, I don't know, my little rolling cliff foothill thing. Comes down to the water. This is going to be tree covered. It's going to be really, actually, I'm excited for this. It's going to be pretty. This is going to be pretty. Fill it in. Make sure you kind of get the, make sure you kind of have the colors the way you want them. See, if you look closely, you know, kind of squint your eyes and look at this. There's more than one color in that shadow tone. And that's one of the secrets to painting, is not just putting one color, and you got to put several colors in. There you go. Absolutely, that works. Now this is going to be darker yet. Let's go ahead and do it just so we don't have to do, you know, kind of repetitive at this point. Let's go ahead and just get it done so we can move on. Same color, just darker. Actually quite dark. Now, this is getting kind of gloppy, I'm noticing. So I'm going to go ahead and probably wipe this off with a shop towel before I continue. This one too. I'm going to wipe everything that I did in this step off with a shop towel. It's very important. Get that extra paint off. It will do nothing but cause you trouble. Little shot of umber right there. See that? You can do more than one color. That's what I'm trying to show here. You can do more than one color. Wow, see, that's starting to mix. Okay, we might lose that when we go to pull reflections. I'm not at all worried about it. It's going to be fine. There, I'm just finishing up wiping off the canvas. I wiped off that mountain and now this mountain. There's not a whole lot. You can see I'm picking up a little paint. There's not a whole lot left. This is going to act, it's going to act basically like a dry canvas at this point. So it really makes life easy. Okay, we're going to toss that to the side and let's go ahead and paint in. Which brush do I want to use? I'm going to go ahead and use it too. And kind of hard to decide. I think I'm going to actually use this one, filbert brush. I've got it dark already, that's why. I'm going to start here in the corners. Oh, it's a lot of paint. I'm going to put on more paint than I want because I'm going to wipe it all off. And it's just faster if you put on a lot of paint and then remove it. That's why when you're painting, when you're trying to paint rushed, you oftentimes are too heavy-handed. When you paint slower, you use less paint. Painting sometimes will work out better that way. You know, it's not the secret to success. I'm just saying it's an element that might help you. If you paint with, you know, slower, you'll use less, but at the same time, paint quick and wipe it off. It's completely up to you. Yes, okay. That looks good. So there's our darkness. That's all we want there for the dark. Now we need some light because, as you know, we build paint. We build paint. Yeah, we build highlight even in our underpainting. So we have highlight and shadow, even though, you know, we're going to put another highlight and shadow on top. So here it is. So I got some yellow in here. And this is still my underpainting. This is not a highlight. This is an underpainting. This is meant to be the dark shadow color, but it's still very light. I do that so that we have depth already working for us instead of us having to make it all happen when we go to add our highlights and our shadows. So see, it's going to be just ready and waiting for us. We'll wipe that canvas off. It's still too wet, much too wet. Did you see this? Look at that, look at that, look at that. Good stuff is happening right there. That works. That definitely works. And we'll go ahead and just take, right now I'm going to do it with you so that we don't forget. Right now I'm just going to take a shop towel and I'm going to leave nothing but a stain on the canvas. All we need is a stain on the canvas. See that? So now I've got, well, mostly my dark colors again. A lot of green. I'm gonna paint a tree. There's some blue in it. This is fairly kind of a, just like a bright day. This is very much just in the middle of the day. A lot of blues, a lot of greens. Okay, here we go, right up in here. And I'm gonna do this tree first, kind of, well, as you can see, kind of sharp, but I don't want it too sharp. It's somewhere in between. I don't know why I'm doing this tree now. I think I've got a lot more I need to do here. I've got to put trees on the background, mountain and whatnot, but you know what? This is one of those, the order doesn't matter. not right, not for this. I see I'm just tapping and crunching and kind of spinning that brush. Make sure it's nice and dark on the left side. The light is coming from the right side. We do need to be careful about that. So these blue shop towels have been sitting up here on the painting for a few minutes, not very long, maybe 3 minutes. And as you can see, as I peel them away, see the tree is left there in the towel. Now I like to save those and wipe my brushes on them. You don't have to toss them, but that removes a lot of the extra oil that would otherwise be, you know, just on the canvas and then back into my brush. This is pretty good. I don't know what I want to do. I'm either going to have to wipe more with the shop towel or do some with a blender brush. Let me do the shop towel. What I want is I want to create some fuzziness. Yeah, that's doing it. I want to create some fuzziness. That's good. That helps it to kind of look, you know, I don't want it to be so sharp. Even some on that trunk, you know, a little fuzziness. Yeah. Because when I go to paint, of course, the final details, the close-up stuff over here, I don't want this to be too sharp. It still needs to be just a little out of focus, not nearly as much as the mountain. We're closer to the foreground now, so you would not see as, you know, it would still be a bit sharper. But this helps kind of to smooth it out a little. I just like that. Yeah, see, so purposely kind of smushing it and blending it just ever so slightly. Yep, that works. Knocking down the sharp edges. So now we're just gonna create some amount of highlight here on the background, mountain. Well, like, you know, when I say mountain, like this like cliff face, this rolling cliff face. Kind of create these little patterns in it. Of course, it's nice to have the brightest ones on the top. Keep everything blurry. I mean, that is the theme today. Blurry trees and blurry just everything in the background, very blurry. So there you go. Now blurry means you spend less time on it really because the details are not there. And if you put the details in, you'll have something that's too sharp and it won't work. Remember, we're just painting. This is just a background for our floral painting, really. It's a really different subject, but it is what it is. It's a background for my floral painting. Well, now I'm going to create our blossoms here on the tree, a little flowering tree. Not too sure how I'm going to go about this. I've never done anything quite like this. I've done things, you know, I've painted flowers before. I'm using a 3/4 brush here. Not too sure. I mean, I know one thing's for sure. Here's one thing that is for sure. If you don't add a wide variety of color, this is going to look really bad. Well, now I've got the 1/4 inch brush. You could easily do this with 3/4 brush, but here I just got the 1/4 inch brush out. You know, because then you get a little bit of variety. That looks good. You see, I went ahead and put in using, I was trying to double load my brush there. You see, I've got kind of orange. I just splashed some orange around. I got some green. The key here is to just do as many colors as you can. You know, that's what's going to, wow. Sometimes the right color didn't come off the brush. Well, now it's finally time to figure out where our highlights are going to be. I've got just a little, well, quite a bit of white here on my detail brush. And I think less is more when you go to highlight these. Well, we'll see. We'll start with a little bit and then we'll slowly build up. I think we don't want to overdo it. Okay, light's coming across like this. Here we go. Ooh, oh, it's a little bold. Maybe I won't mess with it. Maybe I'll just leave it and let's keep going and see what happens. Ooh. Now I did spend just a minute wiping this off with a shop towel. Some of these on the outside edge, just blotting them. So I'm not getting as much mixing as maybe I would. But I still Still getting some amount. Oh, there it is. Yeah, some amount. That's okay. Mixing is okay. Mixing is okay. Mud is not okay. But a little mixing here and there isn't going to hurt anything. Oh, it's actually kind of pretty. It's actually kind of pretty. All right, you know, I may add or subtract from that one. Not too sure how important actual flower shapes are. I'm guessing not super important here. There we go. All right, now this is clearly the bright, bright, bright highlight. This is nearly, oh, I didn't show you my color. There it is right there. Nearly pure white. It is picking up a little pink, of course. And I'm trying to go right here on my pink flowers. I'm trying not to go on my orange, on my blue, or on my green. I'm trying to remain right here on my pink as much as possible so that, you know, any kind of mixing won't become nasty. There, that works. I like those just slashes of just highlight like that, you know, not really doing anything other than just like, wham, there's a, see, there, boom, right there, highlight. Yes, see what I mean? See how that kind of is, oh, that's good. A little more abstract. I think that adds a little something. But this is very repetitive, so we'll just keep going here until we get enough of these highlights on. Definitely throw a mid-tone in, just a little pink, you know, a little lighter pink, because they wouldn't go from white to dark. There would be a transition there. But other than that, it looks pretty good. It really does look better than I expected, actually. You certainly could use a liner brush for this, but I'm just going to get it done with a detail brush. I may use a liner brush for the most fine little twigs, but I don't know, this was just in my hand, so I grabbed some dark brown and just decided to go for it. Just decided to go for it. You know, if you want to stop and sketch out a few more, go ahead, sketch out a few more, you know, with your pink colors. Make sure you like it. This is too much in the foreground to be playing around with whether or not you're going to like it. Make sure you like it. It's pretty. Ooh, that's interesting, isn't it? I like the way that kind of comes around. It's almost, you know, some like lines leading into the painting. See that? That's kind of interesting. It's, you know, it's interesting. That's what it is. Interesting. I'm gonna go right over the leaves. I didn't spend a whole lot of time on, so I'll cover up a lot of the leaves maybe, you know? See that? That works. Again, just doing my biggest branches. I'll do the smaller ones with the liner brush so I don't have to hold my breath quite as much. But it doesn't hurt to get some of these big ones in. And then maybe this one right here. It doesn't even hurt, tell you what else doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to have some of that original pink sketch show through. It just is okay. Oh, look at that. That is so interesting. Once we get the liner brush out, maybe we'll cross a couple of these branches over each other. But maybe bring that one up like good. There we go. It's getting pretty thick. This is getting pretty thick is an understatement. It's getting extremely thick here. I'm barely able to kind of glob this on. So just note that, you know, I don't have much more to go. I can't do much more with this while it's wet. I'll either have to remove the paint with a shop towel or just allow it to dry for a couple of weeks. But once you start mixing mud, don't keep painting. There you go. So I've just got done applying and smudging some pink here to the canvas. Just pink. You can see why I didn't bother highlighting that tree. You can see, you know, most of it's covered. But I'm going to go ahead and just take, so most of this is still, again, very, very dry. Almost nothing there. I'm going to take my pink with the detail brush, which is very soft. We should be able to, there we go. Just get a few kind of sort of solid, semi-solid patches. Now, whether or not we actually smudge this, we'll figure that out. I don't know for sure if I'm going to smudge this a whole lot or not. Well, look how dry it is, though. Wow. It's good. It's very good. And this makes sense. You see, I also slid right over here and I snuck in just the tiniest bit of pink. Just help tie things together. Aren't you glad we didn't spend much time on that background, though? Ooh, that would have been a waste. In fact, I think I spent too much time on my mountain, or I covered it too much, one of the two. But, you know, it happens. It happens. There we go. That works. Finally starting to feel like we're making progress. To me, it just felt like it wasn't, you know, going too fast. It was kind of like I was doing a lot, not getting a lot of distance, if you know what I mean. Now that these flowers are in, that was the big thing. It was like, I think I know what it was. It was, well, the canvas is covered, but it kind of looks empty. It's blank. It doesn't feel finished at all. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. Don't look at me like you don't know what I'm talking about. I've heard too many people say, oh, I just can't see it. You know, when they're halfway through, I just don't see how it's developing. I just can't see it work. Well, I kind of felt the same way. You know, it's like, oh, you know, got to stick to the plan. You know how it is. Sometimes you have to just hold on to that plan. So now I'm going to add some highlight and just some extra texture to the grass area. Kind of nice right there. That works. By building, you know, several layers in here, you'll be able to get something that looks pretty decent. Don't forget, we're going to have a shadow that actually may be covered, but now right here won't be. Right here, there's definitely going to be some light sneaking through. That looks good. Yeah, that looks good. Very bright, very vivid. There's my color. Nice, bright, vivid yellow. Very, very shiny. That works. See that shiny, the more shiny, the better. And this works because you've limited the paint underneath. That's the secret. See that? That's wow, that's it. That's it. Now right here, kind of go around like so. Yeah, that works. Keep going on this. A little yellow ochre. Hit here. Now you don't want it all solid. Hit in with that yellow ochre. Make sure you got more than one thing happening. Even a little red, why not? A little red just sprinkled in and around. Just variety, variety, variety. Can't have too much. So I'm going to place in a few blades of grass here. I actually think I might do a little more up here. In fact, no, I know I'm going to do a little bit more up there. And I need it. I think it'll look good. Do some little dots here. That's good. Dots are good. Keep it a little, well, I'm going to keep mine a little unfinished. And here's why. So I don't distract. I'm going to easily distract. You know, I feel like I'm going to easily distract from the actual painting, the actual subject of the painting. I'm going to get kind of a rusty color, lighter, significantly, let me thin that down a little more. Significantly lighter than the actual base color of our stem. And this way we can drag out some branches. Oh, be delicate here. You don't want to overdo. In fact, I'd say maybe not too jagged, you know, because you have to think of a close-up of this is a very thin limb. You know, this is life size or even maybe bigger than life size. I don't know. So you got to imagine this is really not going to have a whole lot of wiggles and bumps to it when you think about it. Well, that's about it for this painting. It was quite a different take on a traditional spring tree landscape painting, but hopefully you enjoyed seeing it. Don't forget to check out our website, DVDs, and brush line. Thanks for watching. Well, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Remember to subscribe if you're not already, and click the like button. It helps me out a lot. Stick around, watch a couple more videos, and stay inspired.